Natural gas is the most used fuel on the planet after oil. It is the invisible energy that heats millions of homes, feeds gigantic power plants, drives entire industries, and keeps a large part of the world lit. But have you ever wondered where it actually comes from? How is it possible that an invisible and potentially dangerous gas, trapped miles underground, reaches your kitchen with just the turn of a knob? Well then, today we will travel directly to the United States, one of the largest producers and processors of natural gas on the planet, a place where, every day, colossal amounts of this fuel are extracted, processed, and sent through enormous industrial networks that, without you noticing, end up reaching your home. So, get ready, because you are about to discover how natural gas is processed on a massive scale. Let's begin. Step number 1. Formation and extraction of natural gas. All natural gas is born long before you open the burner on your stove or turn on the heating. Its story does not begin on the surface, but several kilometers underground in deposits that formed millions of years ago. Down there, remains of plants and microorganisms were buried under enormous layers of rock and sediment. With the passage of time, extreme heat, and the brutal pressure of the subsoil transformed that organic matter into a light, invisible, and highly energetic gas, composed mostly of methane. To give you an idea, the gas that heats your house today could be older than the dinosaurs themselves. But reaching it is not easy at all. The gas is trapped inside dense rock formations, mixed with salt water, oil residues, sand, and highly dangerous chemical compounds. This is where one of the most extreme industrial operations on the planet comes into play. Gigantic drilling rigs are installed on the ground and begin to drill relentlessly, day and night, piercing through layer after layer of rock for days or even weeks. These drillings can exceed 5 kilometers in depth, withstanding very high temperatures and pressures capable of destroying conventional machinery in seconds. Everything must work with absolute precision, because a single mistake here can mean serious accidents or million-dollar losses. When the gas-rich layer is finally reached, the actual extraction begins. Reinforced steel pipes are installed, sealed and pressurized, designed to withstand extreme conditions. Through them, the gas begins to rise from the depths to the surface. The effect is immediate. As soon as the well opens, tons of natural gas begin to flow toward the surface. But here comes the important part. This gas, just as it comes out of the earth, is useless. It arrives mixed with water, sand, sulfides, and other dangerous compounds that make it totally unusable. The extraction phase ends here. The gas has already left the earth, but its authentic industrial transformation has only just begun. Step number 2. Separation and initial cleaning of the gas. Once extracted from the subsoil, its true transformation begins. Just as it emerges from the well, it is a wild and potentially dangerous mixture. It comes loaded with residues and toxic gases that could destroy entire pipes or cause serious accidents if not controlled in time. For this reason, its first destination is not a city or a factory, but a primary processing plant. As soon as it reaches the surface, the gas enters enormous industrial separators, authentic steel colossi designed for a single mission: to bring order to the chaos. Inside these gigantic structures, something almost automatic happens. The heaviest liquids, such as water and sludge, fall to the bottom. The condensates with oil remains are diverted through specific conduits for later use, and the gas, much lighter, rises toward the top. It is a crude separation, but absolutely necessary. However, the danger has not yet ended. That gas continues to carry invisible moisture, and here enters one of the quietest risks of the process. If that water remained inside the gas, it could freeze, corrode the pipes from the inside, or block valves hundreds of kilometers away. That is why the gas immediately passes through industrial drying systems that eliminate practically all moisture. Then another key filter arrives. The gas passes through facilities designed to remove compounds that should never reach the final consumer. Among them is one especially dangerous one: hydrogen sulfide, an extremely toxic gas with a rotten egg smell capable of causing loss of consciousness and death in minutes, even in very small quantities. When this phase ends, the gas is no longer an immediate threat. It is still invisible and dangerous, but now it is separated, dry, and controlled. Even so, it is still not an energy product ready to move cities. Before traveling thousands of kilometers, it needs something more important: to be perfected from the inside. Step number 3. Compression and preparation for transport. At this point, the gas is practically ready to be used. But it still has a huge problem. It takes up too much space. Even if you don't see it, just as it comes out of the purification plant, it is extremely voluminous. This is where the phase begins where the gas stops being simply extracted gas and becomes an energy product ready to use. The gas is pumped into enormous deep purification plants, facilities full of metal columns, tanks, and treatment systems where every detail counts. The objective is very clear: to concentrate the methane, the true heart of natural gas. The higher the percentage of methane, the higher its energy power, the better it burns, and the more efficient it is in homes, factories, and power plants. To achieve this, the gas passes through systems that remove the last remains of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other gases that do not provide energy. They are compounds that only take up space and reduce the performance of the gas. When this process ends, the gas has already changed completely. Now it is stable, clean, and energy efficient. But there is still one problem to solve. Number 4. Compression and preparation for transport. At this point, the gas is practically ready to be used. But it still has a huge problem. It takes up too much space. Even if you don't see it, just as it comes out of the purification plant, it is extremely voluminous. Moving it like this would be like trying to transport a huge cloud from one place to another. It would disperse and occupy so much space that the process would be slow, expensive, and unfeasible on a large scale. This is where one of the most critical infrastructures of the entire gas industry comes into play: industrial compression. The gas heads to gigantic compression stations, authentic mechanical lungs that never stop. Inside, huge compressors push it, squeeze it, and concentrate it, reducing its volume drastically. In a matter of seconds, that gas that previously occupied an enormous space is compressed enough to travel hundreds or even thousands of kilometers through the pipes without losing strength. Nothing here is done by eye. Electronic sensors control pressure, temperature, and flow speed in real time. If a single value goes out of the exact range, the system acts immediately. Only when every parameter is under control is the gas ready to begin its journey toward its final destination. Step number 5. Massive transport of natural gas. This is where the natural gas starts to truly move, where it leaves the plant behind and enters one of the largest industrial infrastructures ever built by human beings. Once compressed, the gas leaves the processing facilities and enters authentic invisible highways of energy. We are talking about gigantic pipelines, miles and miles of reinforced steel pipes that cross entire countries without ever stopping. But the planet is large, and not all countries are connected by pipelines. When the gas must cross oceans or reach isolated regions, one of the most extreme technologies in the entire energy industry comes into play: liquefied natural gas. The gas is cooled to temperatures near minus 160 degrees. At that level, something surprising happens. The gas stops behaving like a gas and becomes a transparent liquid. The change transforms everything. In a liquid state, the gas occupies up to 600 times less volume, which allows it to be transported over distances otherwise unthinkable. Thus, it is loaded onto gigantic LNG tankers, authentic floating cities designed exclusively to transport energy. Each of these ships can carry enough gas to supply an entire city for weeks. When those vessels reach their destination, the journey is still not over. The gas must still go through one last transformation before reaching its final destination. Step number 6. Storage and local distribution. When the gas arrives in a country or a region, it is not sent directly to consumption. First, it is diverted to enormous facilities designed to store it safely and in a controlled manner until the network actually needs it. In the case of liquefied natural gas, something key happens. As soon as it arrives on the LNG tankers, the gas is introduced into special plants, where it is reheated in a controlled way. By raising its temperature, the liquid turns back into gas. That is to say, the gas recovers its original form before entering the network. Once converted back into gas, the storage phase begins. Here, authentic industrial giants come into play. High-pressure tanks, underground reservoirs, and old empty deposits repurposed into enormous warehouses for this energy. This step is much more important than it seems. Gas consumption is never constant. In winter, demand skyrockets because of heating. In summer, it falls drastically. And the network must always be prepared to respond instantly, without cuts and without errors. But just before sending it to the cities, something very important happens. The gas is odorized. Natural gas, by itself, does not have any smell. If it were to escape as it is, you wouldn't notice until it was too late. That is why, at this point, a compound with an intense smell, similar to sulfur, is added in a controlled way. It is not so that it smells bad, it is so that you can detect it instantly if there is a leak. Thanks to this odorization, millions of people can identify a leak just by entering a room, avoiding serious accidents. Once stored, adjusted, and odorized, local distribution begins. From this point, the gas is divided into an increasingly fine network of pipes, branching out like an invisible circulatory system that runs through streets, buildings, and industrial areas. Step number 7. Final use and present day. At this point, natural gas has already completed its total transformation. What began millions of years ago as organic remains buried under tons of rock. Today has become one of the most important energies on the planet. This is where everything makes sense. In homes, it is the fire that ignites when turning the knob on the stove. It is the hot water that comes out of the shower in the middle of winter. And it is the heating that keeps millions of houses habitable when it is extremely cold outside. In industry, natural gas is even more critical. It feeds gigantic furnaces that reach impossible temperatures. And it makes possible the manufacturing of steel, cement, plastics, and fertilizers that sustain modern life. And in power plants, gas shows its most powerful version. It is burned in a controlled way to move enormous turbines that generate electricity for millions of people. It lights up entire cities, keeps hospitals operational, and sustains complete digital networks, all with a lower environmental impact than other traditional fossil fuels like oil. And so, after passing through deposits miles deep, gigantic processing plants, and invisible urban networks, natural gas completes its journey. It reaches your city and moves the world without you barely noticing. To finish, tell us, did you imagine this whole process? Do you use gas more for cooking, for heating, or for another use? Leave us your answer in the comments, and if you like this tour through the energy industry, don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next trip through the factory.